Welcome to episode 14 of the TV Autopsy, slicing its way through the series you love. My name is James.
My name is Deborah.
And I'm Megan.
And it's been a long time, but it's been so hot.
It's been so long.
Hot. And there's been so many things happening because the weather's just been hot and sunny and things have been distracting us. Things like
life's been happening.
Like end of school and so many things, sports days, that kind of thing.
It has. We've all been mega busy, and Megan's got bats in her belfry.
Yes.
More on that later. Okay, I don't think we've got any correspondence, have we? No one had any correspondence?
No.
Rude. They love it, that's why. They can't fault it at all, which is why they just enjoyed it so much. So let's kick off with a little bit of news. Okay, who wants to kick us off with some news? Anyone got any? Megan, you're breathing deeply.
Well, House of the Dragon is coming.
House of the Dragon.
Right, it's
imminent.
It feels like, it's been a long time coming, hasn't it?
It has been a long time coming. And it's landing, is it like the 22nd of August or something?
I think so. And this is this is a prequel series to Game of Thrones, yes?
Yes.
All about the I can't remember how to say it. Targaryens.
21st of August.
21st of August.
I'm quite excited, but also a little bit concerned in case it's not awesome.
I think it will be awesome.
Yeah.
I personally, I don't know about you two, but I really liked the way that they wrapped up the whole of the final season, really, because it kind of went away from the books because George R.R. Martin can't seem to write
quick enough
chapter for toffee. He's been writing this latest book, for over 5 years now. He's obviously enjoyed the high life, but he's not the youngest man in the world. And I'm just thinking maybe you should get the book finished.
So on Game of Thrones, I actually liked the way they wrapped up all the storylines. They just did it so quickly that it was too fast. There was some certain personality shifts and all sorts of stuff. You could see the roots and where they came from, but it all just happened a bit too fast. It turned on a knife edge at the end, and it literally.
And I suppose they had time enough to make them stretch that out over the final season, didn't they? They didn't need to whack it all in those last 2 episodes. But
I did. It was a very satisfying.
Yes, it was.
Conclusion.
It was, and actually, it still remains to be seen that other things could happen. Life does go on beyond. Then you can see that people have their own separate journeys that they've since gone on.
There's a big rumor that, or I don't know if it's fact now, that Jon Snow's getting his own show.
See, now I would have been more bought into because there was rumors that Arya would get her own, and that was.
Yeah, she went off travelling, didn't she?
That would have
new
massive
world,
potential.
brave new world. Yeah.
Okay, well, watch this space. So we'll certainly be reviewing that.
we're all looking forward to the sequels that haven't been written, but the prequel that's on its way.
We are going to make a thing of reviewing the episodes, aren't we?
Yes.
I think we're going to stick our reviews of the episodes on the end of the podcasts.
Yes.
Spoiler reviews.
Did you say when it's due to air?
It lands on the 21st of August.
And
21st of August.
That's Now TV and Sky, isn't it? I think, unless something's happened.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Lovely.
So it's a Sunday night. So it's a Sunday release.
Nice.
Brilliant. And I'm glad that they're releasing it one at a time. I think that's good sometimes. Deborah, have you got anything for us?
No particular news. No.
Oh, and all this time. It's because she's got a really nice garden. She just sits out there all summer. Be all right in the winter.
Okay,
She'll have loads of news in the winter.
For the first time ever, I've not watched Coronation Street for 7 weeks now. I've got 7 weeks of Coronation Street to catch up on.
Ready for off?
Oh, yeah. Just dropped my keys in with a neighbour.
How long are you away? Ah, now there's a question.
Which is tons of hours. So that's the only news I have. It's because it's been so nice. I've not watched any telly apart from my favourite thing that I've just finished.
Well, we'll come up to that later. Well, that's funny because I've got a friend, Christine, who is a massive Coronation Street fan, and she has also not watched it now for the past 7 or 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So there you go. Okay, so I've got a bit of news. Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is coming to Channel 4. Does anybody know of this?
No.
Okay, so it was like a little YouTube thing, which I really liked, and I kept getting your husband to try and like it, Deborah, but he just wouldn't. And it's a very surreal kind of set, like a kids' TV show. It's got like a crow, a kind of birdy kind of guy, and a massive guy in orange with like tentacles for a mouth, and it's just really surreal, really, really surreal. I love it. They made about 4 or 5 episodes on YouTube, and they've got their own series, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, very nice.
Looks like a bit slightly warped Sesame Street type.
That's a much better way to describe it. Yes. Yeah, it's very good. There's a bit where they go, "Shall we eat the picnic?" And it's just all raw chicken, and they're all just like enjoying it. It's just that kind of humour, but it's my sort of thing. Anything else, Megan?
No, I didn't do very well at doing a little news research.
No, me neither.
Well, that's okay. I just wanted to mention David Warner passed away, which is really sad. And I know he's mainly in the movies, but he did appear in Doctor Who. Do you know who I'm talking about?
It was announced earlier on today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Blake Seven as well, possibly, but I'll probably remember that. But he was in The Omen. He was a guy who famously got his head cut off by the piece of glass. Very sad news. All right, so let's move on to Cutting Edge. Play the theme tune.
We're about to enter the fascinating sphere of police work, the world of forensic medicine.
Okay, well, this is a series that we've been watching and liking. I've got a couple, because we haven't been around for so long.
I've got 2.
And I imagine Deborah has got...
None, because she hasn't watched any.
She's just been
I've got the one that
All right, so I'll start, and then Megan can go, blah, 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 so you can get your one in. All right, so the first one is a little thing on the BBC iPlayer, or BBC, which I found, called Zen Motoring. Have either of you seen this?
No.
Oh, it's lovely. So it's basically... point of view of a man in a car, so you just see like the road, and he's set in North London, and he's a really calm driver, and it's all about his Zen way of motoring, and he's a bit of a hippie ex-DJ, and he goes, "I'm going out in the field today, and look, there is the refuse truck. I'm gonna beat you, Mr. Truck." And it's very hard to explain, but it's very, very funny. If you drive, you will get all the jokes, like trying to get away from the refuse truck, and there's another one, or like a moped trying to race you, or, chill out, man. It's a nice drive. It's hard for me to do.
And what channel is this on?
It's on the BBC iPlayer, and they're 10-minute blasts, and it's brilliant. I think it's very funny indeed.
Very nice.
Okay, Megan.
So my first one, my June cutting edge, is Everything I Know About Love. It's on BBC iPlayer, and it's based on the book by Dolly Alderton, and it is just the most wonderful reminiscence walk down memory lane of those first few years after uni with your housemates. And it's set
James is looking horrified. I don't think you had an amazing time with uni friends.
Well, it wasn't the friends. I have to, just to be clear.
Just happened to be housemates.
It was the circumstances that were going around in those. It was a very crazy time for us, Megan.
Well, they were crazy times, but this is basically, so it's set 10 years ago, So it's around the last Jubilee, weirdly. But it's a group of 4 friends who are friends from uni who all decide they're going to move to London after uni. 2 of them are school friends who went to uni together, and then there's this other 2 that they meet, and they end up they do this house share, and I could just see so many of my friends in all these different characters, and so many experiences that I had in house shares, and trying to reacclimatize to a completely different way of life, and you know, all of those things. And there's one incident where they have a party at the house, and I can remember having a house party in a shared house that I lived in, and just being so traumatized. And I completely resonated with one of the characters on it. But it's amazing, and the soundtrack is ridiculously good. Such good music.
Okay.
I never noticed
ago.
the music. And but this every single piece I was like, oh man, epic tune.
Oh, you sold it.
So good.
I think I'm going to watch it tentatively, in case it brings back any of the, because it sounds like the absolute opposite of what happened in our house during those periods of time. We didn't like have one party, we had a party every night, and lit a fire in the garden every night in a terrace house, and poor neighbours.
You may well have had a different dynamic to me. It really resonated for me because it's 4 girls, and I was in a house of 4 girls, and you know, all sorts of things like that. But it was but the whole, even that, over and above that, it's a pretty epic story. I just loved all of it, everything about it. It was wonderful, and I was gutted. I was so gutted on the last episode, and I was like, no, that can't be it.
Do you think they'll make more though?
I think there's plenty of scope to, so I hope so.
Brilliant. All right, thank you very much. That's everything you know about Love on the BBC iPlayer. And Deborah.
Mine's is the obvious one, which is Stranger Things.
Now, are you talking Stranger Things both parts?
All of it.
Yeah.
What do you mean both parts?
Because the final series they split into 2 parts.
Two-part release, didn't it?
And the last.
Oh, I see. I've watched it all. So I sat with Roman because I'd seen the first season before, years back, when it came out in 2016 or whatever it was, and then only saw a couple of episodes of season 2 when that came out shortly after then, and then I dropped it. So I decided, look, now that it's all available and running up that hill's at number 1, and everyone's watching Top Gun, so it all just seems like the 80s. We're living in the 80s at the moment. So I sat with Roman and watched the whole lot start to finish, season 1 through to 4.
And what did Roman think about it?
Oh, loved it.
Good.
He is even wearing a Hellfire Club T-shirt today, which I bought him and arrived today. So he's. Have you all seen it?
2 seasons.
Oh.
I've yet to see the second part of the final season. And I like it, I do. And when I was watching this part 1 of the final season, I really got into it. But the idea of watching it, it's not like I'm thinking, I can't wait to watch it. It hasn't got that pull. Can I just think it's a lot of... You don't feel like
you have to finish it, no?
Yes, I certainly will finish it. And when I watch it, I love it. But I just think more the same.
Well, so I think had I done it the way you did, Deborah, I think I would very much have had to move from one season to another. But because there's been such a pause now,
the hiatus,
that I kind of feel that it's a big thing now to get back into it. So I've kind of got to psych myself up for it. I've got to feel like I've got the mental capacity for it, because I know what it is, kind of quite full on viewing. It's not, you can't really be doing your Sudoku while you're watching.
Exactly. And you're absolutely right, because I had exactly the same thing with the pauses in between, which is why I just needed to do it all from the beginning with somebody that hadn't watched it from the beginning. And just get through it, and it is brilliant, and the kids are brilliant, the characters are brilliant. It's just well worth watching. It's part of our zeitgeist now. It's something that's important. Everyone talks about it, and people are wearing the merch. And
they really are wearing that merch, aren't they?
Yeah.
All right, brilliant. Okay. I don't know if it came out at the wrong time of year. I think if it came out in autumn and it wasn't, it'd be easier to watch in some ways. I don't know.
Oh,
I will watch it.
Good point.
What I find really joyful about it is that clearly the makers, the Duffer Brothers and so on, they are our generation, and every single episode chucks in every single TV show and film that you recognise, that you know, that you've seen, and you know, at every 2 seconds I'd be saying, okay, that's Poltergeist. Oh yeah, that's the Goonies. Oh, that's Gremlins. Oh, that's a bit of Silence of the Lambs. You know, and it's just that recognition makes you feel like you're in a safe space, even though it's
or that we're past it and all we've got left is nostalgia.
Yeah,
it'd be like, it's our version of Call the Midwife, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah.
Slightly more gory.
I've never seen Call the Midwife, to be fair. All right. So my next choice. Sorry, Deborah. Go on.
Flatliners. We're going to do Flatliners.
No,
right?
we're still on cutting edge.
We've got 2 more cutting edges to do.
Oh, fine.
So my second choice is on Paramount Plus, and it is The First Lady, and it is a 10-part series looking at the lives of a drama looking at the lives of Eleanor Roosevelt, Betty Ford, and Michelle Obama, and played by Viola Davis is Michelle Obama, Michelle Pfeiffer is Betty Ford, and Gillian Anderson is Eleanor Roosevelt. And 3 inspirational women, 3 brilliant stories of their lives, and 3 fantastic actors.
Wow.
You can subscribe to Paramount Plus for free for 30 days and just watch it. I ate it up. It's so good, and the way they mix the storylines together. You know, you've got they don't mix them up, but you've got the separate storylines running on each show.
Yeah,
and it's just inspirational, and you know what those women did. And I knew little about Eleanor Roosevelt, and bloody hell, she was fantastic.
Yeah,
as was Betty Ford, and obviously Michelle Obama.
And is it kind of like a film kind of quality, or is it like a documentary type?
Film quality drama.
Right.
Really well.
And what, like an hour long sort of each or something?
Yeah, 10 episodes of just about 50 minutes each. I ate it up in a week. I thought it was brilliant. And they look at, you know, they go through the whole life of the people, but just really, 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 really good. If you like The West Wing as well, this is a great, you know,
Love The West Wing.
Oh, well,
one of the best series ever.
Never seen it.
Oh, really, really good.
So good.
Our friend Louisa, or your relative Louisa, watches it every year, I think. Well,
Season 1 of The West Wing has the best cliffhanger, end of season cliffhanger of any TV program I've ever watched.
Curses. I can't remember what it is. It's not when Rizzo turns up. Oh yeah. Rizzo's the first lady. What, you don't need anything.
I know, Stockard Channing, yeah.
All right. What about you, Megan?
So my second cutting edge is Severance. Getting loads and loads of hype. It's on Apple TV. It is phenomenal.
Ooh.
Like phenomenal, like better than Yellow Jackets phenomenal. Oh,
different, pushing it possibly. It's so good. It's weird. It's creepy. It's really original storyline. Really original. Seriously creepy at times. Really creepy characters, and takes a little bit while to work out what the hell is going on. In fact, I mean, to be fair, by the end of the season, you haven't actually worked out exactly what's going on. It lots of oddball characters. It ends on a brilliant cliffhanger. Not as good as season 1 of The West Wing, obviously, but it's basically set in the central character has decided to has undergone the severance process where his work life and personal life are severed. So there's this geographic trigger that as when he goes to work, he has no recollection of who he is outside of work.
Oh.
And when he's outside of work, he has no idea what he does in work.
So it's like a Jekyll and Hyde type character.
No, because it's a physical process that you get put through, and there's everybody at where he works has gone through the severance process, and so none of them know. Like, they could be husband and wife in the outside world.
How do they know? How do they know to go to work?
So they know they work at this company, and they know what time they have to go to work. They just turn up at work, and then don't know what happens at work, and then they go home, don't know what's happened when they were at home.
So, and what is their work? Is their work like so super secret that's why they're not allowed to know?
I can't possibly tell you that.
Oh.
But it's oh my god, it's so good. It's really clever, really clever. It's directed by Ben Stiller.
Oh.
And it's I don't know if it won all the Emmys, or it's been nominated for all the Emmys, or it's getting tipped for all the Emmys, but it's like the big thing to watch in 2022. It's so good. I thoroughly recommend you watch it. It's got Patricia Arquette in it, being really creepy. It's so clever.
And you can only get it on Apple TV, right?
I think so. Yeah, it's an Apple TV original.
So let us move on to Flatliner.
Haha. Lacking in lots of telly watching this last sort of 6 weeks or so, but I did start to watch The Midwich Cuckoos.
Oh.
It was rotten. I pulled out of it.
Oh, I liked it.
Oh, did you watch the whole thing?
The new one?
Yeah.
So basically, it's just this small village that's completely subdued by some kind of alien presence, and for a day, and then when everyone wakes up, because they all, I don't know, go comatose or something, they discover that numerous women in the village, in the town rather, are pregnant. And I watched 3 episodes and just thought,
do you know the
throw
story?
in the bucket. Go into this.
Do you know the story? Have you seen the original films and stuff?
Oh no.
So it's
John Wyndham book.
It's from a book by John Wyndham, and the films are called what are the films called? It's not called The Midwich Cuckoos. Children of the Damned. Children of the Damned.
Oh,
there is. It's been made into a TV series historically as well. Midwich Cuckoos. Yeah.
So I mean, I quite liked. I love John Wyndham, and I like the film. So kind of watching it through that perspective, I liked. I did think it was too long-winded. I think like the first episode, it took the whole episode for the women to get impregnated, really. But I thought Keely
Hawes, yeah.
I liked her.
Yeah, I generally love Keely Hawes. I enjoy watching her and enjoy her work, but there have been a couple of TV shows that she's done where it's just flatlined for me.
So it didn't work for you. Okay. The problem as well is when it was made in the 50s, it's quite easy to imagine a village being cut off from the world. Whereas these days, you know, I mean, one of them goes back to London for a bit, doesn't she? And
yeah.
But I liked it. I thought it was all right.
But also, I think now there's a lot of stories that have got something along those. Like at the time, it would have been much more original.
Yeah.
The book is really creepy, but lots of those different elements have been recreated in different, and were probably inspired by the original book, but now it feels really derivative.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, all right, fair enough. I haven't got one. Megan, do you have anything?
Yeah, I'm really sorry, but I'm having to assign season 2 of Only Murders in the Building to the Flatliners.
No, I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to see if anyone had watched it.
Yawn.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Well, it kind of was a bit yawny.
Yeah.
But go on,
Anyway.
what happens in the next?
Well, I haven't finished watching it, and I
Yeah.
might just
Yeah.
while I'm doing my, word searches.
Well, the thing with TV shows, it is kind of easy. If you know it, it's
yeah,
something
you can
on
have
the
it on in the
background.
background
Yeah.
whilst you're scrolling through Instagram. But they're trying to work out who killed Bunny.
Yes.
And it's just more of the same. Really, just no real substance. There's a bit of I can't remember the name of what was Steve Martin's old TV cop character. It wasn't Brasso. Anyway, they sort of resurrect that, but not in the way that he thinks they're doing it. There's some good little bits, but
Not
mostly it's just all of them going off half-cocked after the wrong things again and again and again, and drawing massive conclusions that have no business being drawn. So yeah, that's a flatliner for me.
Well, I'm going to draw a flat line under that segment and move on to our main feature.
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, so the series up for dissection this month is The Other One. And let's have a clip.
It's been a bit much lately. What with Dad suddenly dying and finding out he had a secret love child.
Oh, come here. You could be identical twins. Dad had an affair. Not great, but because of it, you got a sister. You got me.
Your dad was my sexual zenith.
That man is dead to me.
He's dead to all of us. He's dead.
The Other One on BBC One and iPlayer.
Okay, so Deborah, do you have any facts?
Yes, hello. It's 6 half-hour episodes on the BBC. There are 2 seasons, actually. Created by Holly Walsh, who writes, produces and directs. She's involved with Motherland, Psycho Bitches. She's a comedian in her own right. It stars Ellie White, who plays Kathy. She is in Stathlet's Flats. She plays Beatrice in The Windsors. She also writes, produces and directs. It also stars Lauren Sokar, which means statue, by the way. She's in Misfits and Catastrophe. Did you know that she, back in 2011, she got done for racially aggravated assault and spent 4 months in jail? Her brother is the actor Michael Sawker, who's in the Aliens Being Human, This Is England, Casualty. Also stars Siobhan Finneman, who plays Marilyn. She is the actress that plays Mrs. O'Brien, housekeeper in Downton Abbey. She's in Happy Valley as Sarah Lancashire's sister. She's in The Stranger. She's in Cold Feet as she's Nikki in Doctor Who in the Witchfinder episode. She's in The Syndicate. Also stars Rebecca Front, who's in Grantchester, Poldark, Being Human, Psycho Bitches as well, and my favourite, Grandma's House, which is a Simon Ansdell programme where she plays his mother. She's in 99, Knowing Me, Knowing You. Then there's so she plays Kathy's mum Tess. Caroline Quinton, who plays Auntie Dawn. She's obviously in Men Behaving Badly. Stephen Tompkinson, who I've seen live. He plays Mr. Is it Shipman? Dr. Shipman. Yeah, he's kind of got this very strange Paul McCartney voice going on. But he's in DCI Banks, he's in Ballicus Angels, he's in The Split. I
don't actually remember him in the programme.
Drop the Dead Donkey.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's not Dr. Shipman. I was thinking of somebody else. Yeah, he's a guy. He's a guy who does the walking and kind of talks like
he's a geography teacher. The geography teacher.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The climate change denier. And then you've got Amit Shah, who plays Marcus, Kathy's fiance. He's in the new Happy Valley. He's in Johnny English. And I just have to give you a special mention to.
Were you in it?
Michelle Austin. No, I wasn't in it. Not this time. Michelle Austin, who plays Angela, the therapist. She's in This Is Going to Hurt, Meet the Richardsons, EastEnders. I just wanted to give her a special mention because I thought she was very, very funny in her very small,
we will get onto her in a bit, I'm sure.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. So, Megan, could you give us a little synopsis? What happens in it?
Well, Kathy and her mother are throwing a surprise birthday party for the husband/dad, and basically gets caught out in his lie, or a lie, has a massive heart attack and dies. And following that, it transpires that he's actually been living a double life, and he's got a second family. And the daughter of the other family is also called Kathy.
Which I think is funny.
And so obviously they all end up finding out about each other, meeting up, and everything is super, super awkward. But it lines it up nicely for lots of, you know, ridiculous scenarios, ridiculous character combinations, and etc.
So, all right. So, just a little, why I chose this really is
Yes.
I wanted a traditional sitcom after us doing, Kevin could go F himself. But basically, I was watching an episode of Inside Number 9, and I fell asleep, and
That's
I woke up, and it was towards the end of this episode 1 of this series, and I thought it was still the same episode of Inside Number 9, and I couldn't work out what happened in between all the bits. And I was watching going, oh, well, they're still talking about the same character. And then, I saw the bit where they deal with the ashes, and I just carried on watching it, and I love it. I really, really like it. I don't know if there's an innocence or a kind of heartwarmingness to it. And it really does make me laugh. And I suppose for me as well, the cast, you mentioned Marilyn, the one program you didn't mention, I think, is Benidorm, which I know her from.
Of course, yeah.
You know, I love her. I loved the other mother from The Thick of It, and I loved Misfits. Seeing all of them was just brilliant. I think there's such a good cast. So I really like this show. All right, so
can I give you my view?
Yes, please, Deborah.
So I find sort of BBC kind of terrestrial TV comedies, they can be a bit hit and miss. So unless it's BBC Three, because that could be a lot more edgy. So I suppose what I've discovered about myself when watching any TV series is I fight it. I feel like they have to prove themselves to me before I...
Because they're on the BBC.
No. I mean, just generally, any TV series. I've kind of learnt that about myself recently, that it's like, come on, impress me. Rather than me just sort of sitting and going with the flow, I generally tend to sort of fight it until something, and it could be anything, wins me round. So, my initial impressions, I thought Siobhan Flannery, who plays Marilyn, I thought she was totally miscast. I just felt that she really jarred with me. But by the second season, because I did go on to watch the second season, I was fully on board with her. I was confused by all the accents because I was believing it to be in a suburb of Manchester. But there was Southern Tess and Southern Kathy, and there was Derby Cat, and then there was kind of Lancashire Marilyn, and then there was kind of Southern Marcus. So look, I fought it for a few episodes, but it was Lauren Stoker's Cat. It's just so superb. I mean, that part is just made for her, and that's what kept me going. And then and then I just fell for all of them. I just fell hook, line and sinker, and moved very swiftly on to season 2 and got through season 2. I find it's...
Hold on a minute. Let's go to Megan, and then we'll come back.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Okay, yeah.
So go on, Megan. What did you think?
I had already seen the first couple of episodes and then not gone back to it.
Yeah, I remember.
So I was a little bit like, okay. So I went back and rewatched it from the beginning. And I did really enjoy it. I kind of find these a lot of the half-hour comedies, they're a little bit disposable. I guess.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I would agree. I think that relationship between the two Cathys is just excellent, and I definitely enjoyed it, and it wasn't a chore to watch it. I just, as we go through some of the bits, there are bits that grate on me a little bit, and there's certain things that I found really annoying, and they were a bit shoehorned in, but
look,
it's kind of forgivable. I'm kind of okay with it.
It goes down that traditional sitcom route, doesn't it? So everybody, they don't exactly have catchphrases like hello, hello, but they've got tropes, you know. So Marilyn's always talking about the sexing, which can get a bit great,
and smoking,
but then you kind of let it go because you love the fact that she's agoraphobic and she doesn't ever leave the house, but you don't know why. They don't say that she's got a condition, just that she doesn't like going outside, really. But she's got so much charm. I mean, there's a bit in season 2, I don't know if you saw it, where just the woe betide bit.
Don't you blame our girls. You've had years to tell that boy the truth. You're obviously just a dirty little cheater and liar.
Remember the Rock. Don't undo your work at the Rock.
Everything was fine. Nobody needed to know. God, hope you're pleased. You stole another woman's man, and then you have the gall to swan in here uninvited and accuse us of buggering up your life.
To be fair, I did invite her.
I didn't know there was anybody else because he told me his wife was dead. Say what now? Well, she wasn't. That woman is very much chuffing alive. So woe betide you if you think I'm gonna forgive you. Woe betide you if you think I'm gonna forgive you. Don't you woe betide me, because I am woe betiding you. And woe betide anyone who thinks they can tell me who I can and cannot woe betide in my own house.
And it's just something like a woe betide concert. And I thought, I haven't heard anybody say woe betide. Anyone for ages.
There's a brilliant little Billy Connolly sketch that talks about woe betide.
Oh, okay.
Woe betide the boy. Oh, good old fucking Whoopi. I'm glad he did that. Woe betide the boy who doesn't do his homework. Oh, good old fucking Whoopi. Brilliant. Fantastic. What a rebel.
Now, look, we're working here on a low budget, looking at what it is for the BBC. You know, so they can't compete with all the bells and whistles of maybe some of the other shows we've reviewed. But what did you think charming about it, Deborah?
So, okay, so I think it's got heart. I don't think it's wasting any minute with each episode. It's pulling a lot in there. It's not as sharply funny as Motherland, who Holly Walsh writes for. So the jokes are not, for me, laugh out loud funny, but it's more about the comic absurdities that have a bit of heart and tenderness. I found it to be a slow burn start, ending high. And I think I prefer it that way round. You know, it's much better to be that way round. You know, felt a bit clunky early on, but it just gets better. There was something about, it felt like the main Cathy, she looked different. And then I realised it's because they did the pilot 3 years ago. And then, you know, then it just, that was it. And then they made the series. So, yeah, so the pilot was 3 years ago. You know, she's all very neat and ordered, middle-class existence that's sort of thrown into disarray. I did find it very perilously close to punching down in the whole kind of middle-class, working-class thing. But ultimately, it's funny, it's tender at times, it explores forgiveness and love and grief and family and sisterliness, the opposites, the uptight overachiever, running in the feelings, Tess, the mum, exercising her
all right, because you're kind of doing everything in one.
Okay.
All right, so...
I always do that.
Looking at like narrative and story arcs, Megan, did they work? Did you need them? Did you get bored of them? You know, we had, just to jog your memory, I think, like, obviously the other sister and the other family, the wedding.
So the Cathy and Cathy story arc I loved.
Yeah.
I loved I had them written down. I can't. So the other Cathy's mother is Marilyn, right?
Marilyn, yeah.
I loved their story in season 1 in particular. I liked just the brass neck of them It's just genius.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute
Just take.
genius.
Yeah.
Or if you fancy anything, and then they take the entire contents of the house.
Yeah.
And gradually through the 2 seasons, their house is getting like more and more middle class.
Yeah.
So I did like that. I totally get where some of the character traits were going, but the Marcus, I think this is very deliberate. I think it was intentional. It's not like it didn't work the way it was intended. Man, it wound me up, and I don't know whether he was a bit
dick pics and his
I don't know whether he was too. He was just too that
wet,
weedy, and
but
sinister, a little bit sinister really with it as well. I don't know.
It's whether him and his mother are going to get together. Like that. Did you see that bit where they're in the car doing the theme tune to the Archers? And I just thought, oh my God, that's so brilliant. But, all right, so let's talk about what we didn't.
There were some proper cringe bits.
Yeah.
Right, come on. Let's talk about what we didn't think worked. I think it lost something when we started to have to look for another sibling, and I thought that, I know it turned out differently, but that actor didn't do it. He wasn't a very strong actor, and I thought it kind of watered down a lot what was going on, and for me, I thought, oh, you kind of.
There was nothing. So the 2 Cathys have both got their quirks, like they're, and so original Cathy is all a bit socially awkward and super bright, but hadn't applied it in the way that she could have done, and the other Cathy is just ridiculous in an awesome way, and then the other, the brother is there and he's just like, meh, okay, where's his. He didn't really have anything going for him in a quirk or unique kind of way. He was just.
I found that, and I don't know if this is a deliberate thing, because it's very female-led characters. They're leading all the storylines, and all the male characters are just kind of dumbed down or a bit wishy-washy or washed out. Because I felt the same about Stephen Tompkinson's geography teacher and
the maths teacher.
They're just like add-ons,
climate change.
Really?
They're very two-dimensional, weren't they?
Yeah, and I just didn't understand why he was doing a Paul McCartney impression the whole time, or kind of Lloyd Grossman, or just a bit unfathomable. Just not, whereas the female characters are very strong and have their.
All right. Did anyone spot the music? No, there isn't a theme tune to this, but they used a lot of like 70s, 80s music, didn't they?
Yeah.
Which I thought was nice. Megan, that's the
test. I didn't hear the music.
Oh, right, there you go. No, not good enough.
I do want to say about episode 3, the grief counsellor.
Tell me why you liked her so much.
Oh my God, because the way that she got drunk at the end, burping and belching and throwing up and crying into her phone, I just thought she was just so funny. She was the one that made me laugh out loud. Whereas the rest of the time, I was like, oh, this is amusing. I thought Caroline Quinton was very amusing and very good, but nothing that was laugh out loud as the grief counsellor, who was so put together. And Cathy loved her and wanted to kind of emulate her and be her, or I don't know what she wanted
to do better for her.
Yeah, I think she had a crush on her, and then she just turns out to be this burping
screwed up as
everyone else. Just very funny. Yeah.
All right. Has anyone got anything else they want to say before we do that old trope?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no. I think there were a couple of bits that I felt they really shoehorned in a scenario to try and drag some jokes out, which just really annoyed me. So when she went back to work after the wedding and then didn't bother telling anybody that she hadn't got married, and it was just like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Why
you just
wouldn't
send an email?
Yeah, that was season 2, right?
Yeah, because the wedding went up to the end of season 1.
Okay, and then also, like, why would the whole going to the maths lessons,
The GCSE,
with the other Kathy, and just I don't know, it was just all a bit, that bit was, I found quite, I don't know, I don't think it necessarily returned the value. It would definitely worked hard to get some
Fair enough.
average jokes in.
Yeah, I think so. It wasn't perfect by far. All right, so let's just go through that old trope, see if it's got any other tropes. Did it have a pregnancy?
A pregnancy? No.
No. Murder?
I mean, there was talk of pregnancy because obviously they're all born.
But there was no.
No, but a murder? No murder.
No. Self-sacrifice? No. Losing everything, then getting it back?
Ish.
Well, I think we'll.
No, they got everything and lost it again, didn't they, with the inheritance?
Well, they did, but I suppose you could say they lost their family and got back some sort of family, possibly.
Yeah.
Love triangle.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not a triangle.
Well, some sort of shape. A love shape.
A square.
Yeah. Flashbacks.
No. Not really.
No, not really. It's all just a dream.
No.
A secret that could tear everyone apart.
Yeah.
But it did right at the beginning. So
Yeah.
it's not that
It was
much.
very quick. That was very quick as well, wasn't it? I thought. You know, I mean,
straight on it. Yeah.
It went from bang to. I thought that could have been a little longer. I would have liked to have seen when they found out, personally. You know, and I'd have liked to have seen that at the funeral when they turned up to see for the first time, as opposed to them all sitting there. But never mind.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it didn't work.
Yeah, maybe.
That was their pilot, wasn't it?
Yeah, an unlikely or forced friendship.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that's it.
And reset.
Oh, the death of Machina. Well, there is no death of Machina, so no. Right. All right, so should we do the big five? If there is.
Yeah.
Performance of the series. I'm torn between Marilyn and Kat, but I am going to go with Marilyn just because I feel so sorry for her and I do love her as a
I thought Kat was just out of this world. That part was made for her. She nailed it.
Yeah, I agree, Kat.
All right. Megan, the set piece of the series, if you can find one.
Well, it's a little tricky, but I'm probably going to go with the wall painting.
Remind me, sorry.
That was in season 2.
It's season 2, and
she's got blue paint. She starts painting one wall.
Yeah, they leave the party before the wedding,
it's or the engagement party.
Yeah,
she doesn't want to get married,
or the wedding rehearsal, or whatever it is. And Kat's there in her Spanx, taking her dress off in her Spanx, and it's when the mother comes back and all of that sort of stuff. That was just lovely.
Yeah, lovely. Deborah?
I think the grief cancer.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do when all the wives meet with the woe-betide bit, which I just think is lovely. All right. Woe-betide. All right. Designer effects of the series. So this might be a little hard, but Deborah?
Well, it's a strange one.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't any real effect, but there was a little kind of montage at the end of one episode where Kat gives Kath a birthday present, which is the dad's voice in the cuddly toy.
Oh, it's lovely, that bit.
And that was a very tender, lovely moment. But I don't know if we would call that an effect, but it was kind of an effect, montage, edited together sort of thing.
I'm going to go for Kat. The whole thing, the look, the design of Kat herself.
All right.
And I just think that's great, you know, and it takes a lot of balls to do that, really, I think, as well, and really go for that character.
Yeah.
And, you know, she really embraces it, and you just fall in love with her because of that.
Yeah, she's brilliant. Yeah.
And then overlay Kathy on the end of the first season in that outfit as well.
Yeah. Megan, have you got one or?
No, I have nothing to add to those comments.
Okay, the stupid factor. Anyone got anything for that?
It's all a bit silly.
Marcus.
Yeah, is that the third sibling?
No, that's
the doctor husband.
Right, yeah, fair enough. I'm going to say another sibling. All right, and resuscitation factor. Do you think it's got anywhere to go? I don't think it's got much further to go. I think you can only do this joke so much. You know, you can only pull a family apart and bring them together and show their differences so much, can't you?
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
for me, I think it's probably what it's called.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Okie dokie. So, shall we score it then?
Yes. Interestingly, Holly
we'll
Walsh,
be the judge of that.
Holly Walsh wrote this because a friend told her about a real life story of two Toms.
Oh.
So in terms of plot and storyline and originality, go.
Well,
go.
I have to say on that one, you'll be amazed how often this sort of thing happens.
I bet.
Maybe not with the same calling two kids by the same names. That's quite extreme.
But another
But
wife.
I have got two friends that this has either happened to or has happened in their family.
Yeah, I've got a friend that this has happened to.
I am fighting my tongue not to name people.
Gobsmacking. Yeah.
Wow, I'm just going to name people that you both know. Oh, wow. Oh, well, I don't know anything like that, unfortunately. Well, I don't think so.
You don't know until you know.
Exactly.
And then it comes out and it's horrendous.
All right, storyline and plot. I have given it a 6. Megan?
5.
Deborah?
7.
Characterisation and performances. Megan?
Oh, hold on. I missed me. Was a 6. Sorry.
I've given it an 8.
I've given it an 8.
Style. Deborah?
7.
Megan?
6.
And 4 from me. Originality. Megan?
7.
6.
8.
And absorption factor. I've given it an 8.
8.
I did like it.
Yeah.
6.
All right, lovely. So let's tot up those scores and multiply them by 2. That gives me 64.
78.
60.
78 and 60. Right, so that's so 60. I'm like cat in the maths class.
Sorry, 77. I can't count.
Oh, I'll have to do it all again.
76. 76. Jesus.
So you can't have a 7 if you've doubled it.
No.
Divided by 3 equals. All right, so it gets 66.666 reoccurring. All right. So, all right, recurring. All right, so it puts it in 7th place, just above Friends of Reunion, but just below The Serpent. Oh, that's all right. It's quite well there.
Go. There we are. There we are.
All right, so that just takes us to the end, and we're going to find out what we're going to be looking at next, which I hope will be a lot sooner than the last one. Now, have you got some? Who is it to choose this time?
Moi.
Oh, it's Deborah.
And
do you have some clues for us, Deborah?
Okay, yes, I can make some up on the spot. I've banged on about this one 4 months.
Coronation Street.
Is it Italian?
And I don't want it lost.
Is it Italian?
Yeah, I don't want it lost to you. I want it to be discussed. And
that's the point of the show. All right, so is that the first clue? Because Megan seems to have got it already.
Correct, yes.
Is it the one about the flight attendant?
No.
Right, I'm out. Go on then, Megan. What do you think it is?
It's the My What's It friend, isn't it?
Correct. My brilliant friend.
Brilliant friend. I always forget what that little middle word is.
Good,
because I watched the first 2 episodes and I just haven't quite got back into watching it. And
there's 2 episodes, Megan. Strikes again.
I
know. So yes, it's on Sky Atlantic and it's still available. Get it while we can, because it stopped being available on Prime. Sky is still showing it.
All right.
Get it while you can.
How many series? How many episodes do you know?
There are 3 seasons, but I think there's about 8 episodes per season.
All right.
So we're just reviewing technically the first season, yeah.
Technically the first, but no.
Yeah, we'll definitely do the first, and if we get any further, then we can talk about that as well.
Yeah.
Hey, roger that.
Well, my goodness, that was a fun show.
And just to say, James, you won't be able to do any word searches while watching this.
Well, I don't do word searches.
No, I don't either, just so you know. That's the joke. But I do scroll through Instagram, which is really awkward when you suddenly remember that you actually don't speak Italian.
Yes.
And so you haven't seen any of the subtitles. You got no idea what was going on, even though you sort of like.
Just in case you're interested, I used to do those logic problems. You know, the ones that look like an upside down L, where you had to put in the clues.
Johnny saw so and so, but didn't see the person who came after him.
Anyway, right. So that's the end of the show. Let's call it. That was episode number 14, Time of Death 2029. My name's James.
My name's Deborah.
My name's Megan.
And that was our new end of show tagline.
Nice.
I liked it.